Hi, Kurt here at Pine Ridge Ford in Middle Lake. The love affair with the automobile is alive and well. We love them, we use them, they're a part of our lives. In fact, the main reason why we buy a vehicle is because we love the styling. Now, there's a host of other reasons why we buy vehicles, but I'm going to tell you there's one that's made a lot of noise about in the marketplace, and that's pricing. Now, price is seventh on the list. Now, the reason it's likely seventh on the list is because, especially in our day and age, with the access we have to information, we know what we want, what we like, and what we need. And we can find out the information about the particular vehicle and what it's capable of doing. In fact, we have access to videos and photos, and we get to see the styling. We have a lot of information about the vehicle. In fact, other than driving it to see how it feels, we have all the info we could possibly need until it gets to pricing. Pricing is the challenge. Now, vehicle pricing, quite honestly, is incredibly complicated. In fact, I would say downright painful. These things are expensive, and we simply cannot afford to overpay. So, how did this get so complicated? Well, in a nutshell, the marketplace is incredibly competitive, and dealer margins are very thin. And so the dealers and maybe even the manufacturers use every trick in the book to try to convince you as a consumer that their deal is the best deal. So, those challenges arise because they use several different methods in order to accomplish that. The majority of the discounts and incentives and things of that nature come from the manufacturer themselves. So they do it by model, they do it by year, and it's very complicated. And about the time you think you've got it figured out, then they change it. And if you consider that there's several manufacturers that have several different ideas about how they want to get these incentives or rebates and things to use as a consumer, it gets confusing really quick. And we haven't even talked about the different ideas about pricing of the thousands of independent dealers that are, the conduit between you and the manufacturer. So the dealers, in their infinite wisdom, do what I call a shell game, and the shell game is moving numbers around until they find a number that you as a consumer actually like in order for you to be agreeable to the deal. The problem is that there's more than a typical three shells. There's so many things to try and watch. It's very confusing and hard to tell what the best deal is. So, there's one though in particular that I find that's the most laughable. It's one of these ones where, when you come in to buy a vehicle and there's a certain price on it, but now when you have a trade, suddenly the price goes up. And I've never really understood that. But the reality is they're scared to tell you what the truth of the value of your trade is, and that's the challenge. But the reality is this, is that the manufacturer gives us most of the rebates and the incentives. So they want to be able to actually get those rebates and incentives to you, the consumer. So when you're buying a vehicle, you should see the price of the vehicle, less the rebates and incentives, and get all that down to you first, plus the dealer discount that you would get, then see your trade value after that. Now, of course, that will likely give you the lowest trade value, but what it does is eliminate some of the shells that you have to try to follow. Now, there is, however, a very easy way to accomplish this so that you can verify what the best deal is. And it's as simple as this. All you do is you compare the options, the down payment, the monthly payment, and the term. Now, I need a full disclosure from the dealer, from a manager saying this is what the actual deal is. But if you simply take the monthly payment and multiply it by the term and add the down payment, you'll know what your total cost is on that unit. Now, when you take the options and you compare the options, so you know you're comparing apples to apples, you, my friend, have just beat the most complicated shell game that exists. Well, have fun and continue shopping. We hope to help you soon.